Most people believe building wealth requires a high income. They imagine successful investors earning six-figure salaries, running businesses, or making huge financial moves in the stock market. Because of this belief, millions of people assume that wealth is simply out of reach for them. If your salary is small, it can feel like you are stuck in a financial cycle where money comes in, bills get paid, and nothing meaningful is left at the end of the month. But what if that entire belief is wrong? What if building wealth has far less to do with how much you earn and far more to do with how you manage what you earn? History has shown that many people with average salaries have managed to build impressive wealth over time, not because they suddenly became rich, but because they followed a few powerful financial habits consistently. And in this video, we are going to break down exactly how someone with a small salary can begin building real wealth step by step. Because wealth is not built in a single moment. It is built slowly, through small decisions repeated over many years. The first step to building wealth with a small salary is not financial. It is psychological. Most people think of money only as something to spend. They work hard, receive their paycheck, and immediately begin allocating that money toward expenses. Rent, food, transportation, entertainment, and other daily costs quickly consume most of their income. By the end of the month, the paycheck disappears, and the cycle repeats again. But people who build wealth think about money differently. Instead of asking, "What can I buy with this money?" they ask, "How can this money grow?" This small shift in thinking changes everything. Because money has the potential to do more than just pay bills. Money can work, it can grow, and it can eventually begin generating additional income on its own. But that process begins only when you start treating money as a tool rather than just a spending resource. One of the most powerful habits used by successful investors is something called paying yourself first. Most people pay everyone else before they pay themselves. They pay their landlord, their utility bills, their subscriptions, their loans, and everything else. Whatever remains is what they save. Unfortunately, what remains is often nothing. Paying yourself first flips this process. Instead of saving what is left over, you save a portion of your income first, even if that portion is small. For someone with a limited salary, that amount might only be $10, $20, or maybe $50 per month. But the amount itself is not the most important part. What matters is consistency. When saving becomes an automatic habit, it begins forming the foundation of future wealth. Over time, those small amounts accumulate, and once savings begin to grow, they can eventually be invested. Another major reason people struggle to build wealth is something called lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation happens when your spending increases every time your income increases. For example, imagine someone receives a small salary raise. Instead of saving or investing that additional income, they upgrade their lifestyle. Maybe they move to a more expensive apartment, buy a newer phone, eat out more frequently, or purchase things they previously could not afford. While these upgrades might feel rewarding in the short term, they prevent long-term wealth from growing. Wealth is built when income rises faster than spending. If your spending always increases alongside your income, your financial situation never truly improves. People who build wealth often maintain relatively modest lifestyles even when their income grows. This allows them to invest the difference, and that difference slowly compounds over time. One of the most powerful forces in finance is compound growth. Compounding occurs when your investments generate returns, and those returns begin generating additional returns. At first, this growth may appear slow, but over long periods of time, compounding can produce surprisingly large results. Imagine investing just $50 per month. That amount may seem small today, But if it continues consistently for many years, it can grow far beyond what most people expect. The key advantage here is time. The earlier you begin investing, the more time compounding has to work. Even small investments made consistently can grow into significant wealth if given enough time. This is why starting early matters far more than starting big. While saving and investing are essential, increasing your income can accelerate wealth building significantly. People with small salaries often assume their income will remain fixed forever, but in reality, income can grow in many ways. Learning new skills, changing careers, starting a side hustle, freelancing, or building small online businesses. Even a modest side income can dramatically improve your ability to save and invest. For example, an additional $100 per month invested consistently can make a significant difference over time. Many successful investors did not rely solely on their main salary. They created multiple income streams that gradually expanded their financial capacity. Debt can either help or hurt your financial future. Some forms of debt, such as education or business investments, may help increase future income, but other forms of debt can quietly destroy wealth. High-interest consumer debt is one of the biggest obstacles to financial progress. Credit card debt, for example, often carries extremely high interest rates. If you constantly carry balances on credit cards, the interest payments can erase any progress you make through saving and investing. Avoiding unnecessary debt protects your financial growth. Instead of paying interest to lenders, you allow that money to remain in your own investments. And over time, this difference becomes enormous. Perhaps the most important ingredient in wealth building is patience. We live in a world that often promises quick money. Social media frequently shows stories of people becoming rich overnight. But real wealth rarely works that way. Most successful investors built their wealth gradually over decades. They saved consistently, they invested regularly, and they allowed time to do the heavy lifting. Small actions repeated over long periods can produce remarkable results. The problem is that many people quit too early. They start saving for a few months and stop. They invest for a year and lose motivation. But those who remain consistent often experience the greatest rewards. Building wealth with a small salary is absolutely possible. It simply requires a different approach to money. Instead of relying on large paychecks, you rely on discipline, consistency, and long-term thinking. You save first, you control spending, you invest regularly, you avoid unnecessary debt. And you continue improving your ability to earn. These habits may seem small individually, but together, they form the foundation of financial independence. Every wealthy investor started somewhere. Many of them started with very little, but they started. And that single decision to begin managing money wisely eventually changed their entire financial future. So if your salary feels small today, remember this. Wealth is not determined by where you start. It is determined by the habits you build along the way. And the best time to begin building those habits is right now.